4 years ago, my best friend flirted with my boyfriend to test his loyalty. Now they're coming over for Thanksgiving with their 2 kids. My boyfriend Shane had always been the flirty type, and I know what you're thinking. You knew he was like this. You chose him. You shouldn't complain. But look, he was the one who promised me on our very first date that he wasn't like that, and I was young and in love, so I couldn't help but believe him. Even if it bothered me the way he'd eye other girls when we're outside, or compliment female colleagues in ways that made my skin itch, I knew he was mine and no one could come in between us. You know, you can't just believe him. He could be doing something behind your back, my best friend Courtney said. I shrugged. He told me I was different, not like other girls. He's good to me and only me. Besides, I pulled out my phone. We share our social media accounts, so I know he's not doing anything sus, I said proudly. She grinned. So you wouldn't mind if I tested him? Just a bit of flirting at the next party? See if he takes the bait. If he doesn't, then you know you have a loyal one. If he does, at least you can move on quick, right? She held her hand out and I shook it, grinning back. Oh, trust me, I know my man, I told her. Words I'd regret much later. That weekend at my brother's birthday party, I watched from across the room as Courtney made her move. My heart pounded as she walked up to Shane in the kitchen, laughed, touched his arm, pull all the moves from her flirting textbook, but Shane just smiled politely and stepped back. No touching, no flirting. When I saw him walk off to talk to another friend, I felt my whole body relax. He passed. From then on, there was no doubt in my mind I had the most loyal man out there. I stopped overanalyzing texts, stopped feeling suspicious every time his phone buzzed. Even when he had to stay out late for work with female colleagues or went to a party where other girls were, I knew I could trust him. I also started seriously thinking about our future together. Moving in, getting a dog together, maybe even marriage. But one Tuesday after work, when my coworker TJ and I went out to grab a snack downtown, I spotted them. My boyfriend Shane with my best friend Courtney, sitting at a corner table, her head resting on his shoulder while they held hands, chatting and laughing like a couple. My hands started to shake, but I quickly stopped my thoughts from spiraling, telling myself that I was overthinking things. It wasn't what it seemed. My boyfriend had passed the test. He wouldn't be out here blatantly cheating, right? But then I saw him reach into his jacket and pull out a small gift box. Courtney ripped open the gift and held up a beautiful diamond necklace, giggling as he placed it around her neck gently. Then she picked up a card and read it out, loud enough that I could catch the words from where I was seated. Happy anniversary. My chest tightened painfully. Anniversary? They'd been together almost just as long as he'd been with me. But how? Why? I felt sick, dizzy, and devastated all at once. TJ, my coworker, noticed my face and didn't even have to ask. He walked straight to their table, threw their drinks and plates on them, called out their cheating, then came back to our table. Let's go, he said, walking me out of the restaurant while I sobbed into his jacket. TJ drove me out to a quiet beach and looked me in the eyes. Scream, cry, let it all out, he said, and I did. I kicked and tumbled around in the sand, shouted into the waters, cried until my eyes turned puffy. Then he took me back to his place and let me stay there until I figured things out. Before I knew it, 4 years passed and I rebuilt everything. New apartment, new job, a real relationship with TJ. Everything was good again, until Courtney texted me out of the blue, saying she missed me and wanted to heal the past over Thanksgiving. I wanted to say no, but my family guilted me into it. She's reaching out. Maybe you can get some closure, they insisted, but they were wrong. The moment Courtney and Shane stepped foot into my place, they acted like it was a competition, bragging about their lives and their kids, saying everything worked out for the best. Even their kids giggled, repeating something they clearly heard at home. Mommy says you ghosted mommy and daddy for no reason. That's mean. You're mean. Even my family started giving side glances, looking at me like I was the villain. That's when TJ stood up. He walked into the office room and came back out holding a dusty old folder. Inside was everything. Screenshots of their messages from before the party, proving they planned the fake test together, just to make me believe nothing was going on. Photos of group chats where they mocked me for years afterward, and proof that they'd both been cheating on each other throughout their entire marriage. Courtney and Shane immediately broke out into a fight, screaming at each other, throwing around furniture that wasn't theirs, wondering if the kids were even his. It was amazing. I looked at Courtney and Shane, still red-faced and trembling with rage, and smiled. Then I turned to their crying kids and asked calmly, "So, which parent are you two planning to stay with after the divorce?" They cried harder.